Ladies and gentlemen, I have waited a literal lifetime to say this. England have beaten Germany in a knockout game at a major tournament. Also, we've got a Doctor Who podcast to do.
Yeah,
I mean, in lesser news, there's a podcast as well.
I promised the other two that I wouldn't go crazy about the football, so that's all you're going to get from me. He says...
You're just sitting here. Yeah. Colin Baker, 5 out of 10. Anyway, did you see that goal? Holy shit!
It wasn't a great goal, but we won.
Don't complain. It's the goal that won you the game.
I mean...
I have one question for you. What was the score?
2-0.
Well, that's not bad. That's good. A shutout. Good.
Yeah, shutout. The problem is that because they didn't play particularly... You got me talking about it now, sorry. But anyway, yeah, we're talking about... talking about the mysterious planet, which is the first of 4 Trial of a Time Lord mini-stories.
And yet we've already done part 3 of Trial of the Time Lord.
The best one. We've done the best one. The Terror of the Vervoids.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really... I flipple on the quality of these things. But now we actually get to talk about the history of Trial of the Time Lord and bullshit. But before all that, hey, Rainiac, who are these idiots you're talking to?
I'm glad you asked, person to my virtual left, because on my virtual left, he once believed being a member of the Mile High Club meant you looked at your reflection at 30,000 feet. It's freezing inferno.
What do you mean that's not what it means?
We'll tell you later what that means.
When adult time, we'll tell you in adult time. Don't worry. And to my virtual...
Actually, just in case, lean over. I'll whisper it in your ear.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do that.
Okay.
And to my virtual right... Stop talking over the introduction.
You just have to remember that whenever you have to join the Mile High Club, it has to be an elephant. It can't be a kangaroo. It has to be an elephant. Okay.
Duly noted.
I regret using that for the introduction already. And to my virtual right, evolution is a mystery, and so is Concave Usurper, better known as Cat.
Hey.
I couldn't think of anything. I was too excited about the football.
That seems like it would have been more fitting for our Ghostlight episode, but okay.
It was more fitting for a Ghostlight episode. I think I'm even used to that. It's fine. We're doing it live.
It's fine. Goal, England.
Yeah, England have won, and then they'll lose the next round. Oh, did I say that out loud, bugger?
And to our virtual center, he's our host with the most, but he can't stop talking about football. It's Rainiac.
Virtual center, I like that. All right. I will try and contain my excitement about the football.
Fun fact for people, we usually record this in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at it, Frez's icon is to Rainiac's virtual left, and I'm to his virtual right.
Take a screenshot right now. Call.
Print screen. What's the button for that?
Print screen. It's on your
Gee, I wonder which button is for print screen. I wonder if it's
no.
the one that says
There's
print
2
screen.
functions on it. One if you hold down the function button. One if you don't.
Wait, fuck. Where's the any key?
I don't see the any key.
I just took a screenshot.
I also took a screenshot.
Plebeians.
Good for you.
Speaking of screenshots, I want to highlight the interesting variation of experience I had watching these episodes again for the show. So normally I just do this at home. I throw it on my TV and I write down the notes on the computer. But this weekend I was on vacation visiting a friend of mine, Blaze Fury, friend of the show. He's yelled in the background once or twice. We talked about another Colin Baker episode together, but anyway, I was at his place this weekend. While he was at work, I watched these episodes. So now keep in mind he's an anime fan, so I load up the PS4, I slap in the Colin Baker, and this is what I was looking at.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Friends of the show. Just look.
And
this is the shit.
Somehow that's less colorful than the coat.
Somehow the anime girls have done the thing. So I'm sitting in front of this television, and well, now I don't have my computer, so this is what I was working with. That's the notes function on my tablet, and you can see a note I'm going to talk about very shortly.
Yes.
Let's talk about the history of Trial of the Time Lord, just an abridged history up to this point, because the history of Trial of the Time Lord is some of the most fascinating behind-the-scenes bullshit in Doctor Who for me. partly because it became such a clusterfuck by the end. But clusterfuck almost happened from the word go. See? Okay, let me set the scene. It is February 1985. Doctor Who is currently airing The Two Doctors in Colin Baker's first season. Things aren't going so hot, and for a variety of reasons, budgetary or just plain dislike of Doctor Who in general, the powers that be at the BBC decide there won't be a Doctor Who series next year. This leaks, and we get the Doctor Who cancellation crisis, where all the newspapers are like, save Doctor Who, save Doctor Who. All the big fans, all the Doctor Who magazine people, Ian fucking Levine smashes a TV, they're all save Doctor Who. Doctor in Distress happens, which is just a complete mistake. Well,
fantastic.
Yes. Fantastic, but also tone deaf in more ways than one.
Fantastic? Excuse you?
In what way is it fantastic?
Because it exists.
Yeah, that's... So, anyway, either way, Doctor Who is going to come back in the fall of 1986.
Yay!
So what are they going to do? What are the people going to do? See, nobody's actually fired at Doctor Who. Because the cancellation is clearly a vote of no confidence in the Colin Baker era and the behind-the-scenes team that have been running things since around the Davison era and the Tom Baker era. But yeah, Davison, because Eric Sayward isn't around at this point, but they are left to get on with it. So their plan for their grand relaunch is, oh wait, I found a mirror alert after all. Here's your Doctor Who mirror alert, because the story is mirroring real life. Because they're like, well, gee, everyone's super critical of Doctor Who now. It's like the show was on trial. Wait a minute. What if we put Doctor Who himself on trial? And so you get the trial of a Time Lord, in which a bunch of Time Lords put the Doctor on trial, they're basically watch an episode of Doctor Who, and occasionally interrupt to riff on it or complain about it. Yeah. And go, wait, that's a bunch of bullshit.
It's basically the world's weirdest clip show, where we actually haven't seen the clips before.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Doctor Who does Gogglebox.
Now, now there's a big critique of this that I was talking with people on Discord, and one of them brought this up. And we'll get to it a little later when we can get more substantial with the trial segments. But for our purposes, all we need to know is that the people to be script editors, they were decided, hey, let's get some good writers in on this shit. So to do the beginning and the end of the trial of Time Lord, he hired legendary Doctor Who writer Robert Holmes, who we've seen before on the show in Pyramids of Mars, and I don't know what else we've covered Robert Holmes has done. I think that might be the only one, actually.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But he's done a bunch of stories that are well regarded. The Spearhead from Space, Terror of the Autons with John Pertwee, a whole bunch of Tom Baker stuff like The Ark in Space.
Holy crap! Yeah, I'm looking at
at
everything. He made the Third Doctor, Liz Shaw, Time Lord 72 Hearts, The Master, Joe Grant, Sarah Jane Smith, Gallifrey. Holy crap!
Yeah,
this man pretty much is Doctor Who.
He invented the Autons.
Yeah. And he did Pyramids of Mars, which I believe you liked, Rainiac.
Yes, I did. Good story.
Yeah. Oh, he made Rassilon. Great.
Oh, yeah, he did The Deadly Assassin, which is really cemented Time Lord lore, such as it is.
The Two Doctors?
Two Doctors, which is a little later in his lifetime.
Well, he did one thing that was a good script, but very bad execution that we covered.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, he wrote.
He did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, it's.
To be fair, some of that was not his fault. I don't think he had costume direction on that. So
yeah, let's move away from that. He also did the pretty well regarded Caves of Androzani, the Fifth Doctor's final story.
Yeah, I look forward to covering that in the future.
Yeah, that's one that would be fun to revisit in the future. But more recently, so he left the show for a while there in the mid to late 70s, but he came back around the mid 80s and did a couple things like Caves and Dungeon and Two Doctors. So he was pals with the script editor, Eric Sayward. Eric Sayward sort of looked up to him as a mentor, which becomes important for the clusterfuck when the trial ends.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just going to give it away here. The reason why the trial ends in such a clusterfuck is Robert Holmes wrote this script, The Mysterious Planet. He set up all the stuff that we're going to talk about, and so he was going to work on the final story, The Ultimate Foe. And then he died!
Yeah. He got very ill and sadly died in 1986.
And he died with half a goddamn script, and so the resulting clusterfuck of, oh fuck, what are we gonna fucking do? Is part of how the trial kind of collapsed. But we're ignoring that because we have to talk about it when we do the Ultimate Foe podcast in the future. So for now, we have the last full script the legendary Doctor Who writer Robert Holmes wrote. The Mysterious Planet.
Also, what a novel idea. Bringing great writers into Doctor Who in order to make it so that the episodes aren't shit. Wow, if only Chibnall used that idea more often.
I mean, he got it spawned with Nina Bativier and Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
If only he used it more often.
Dev Patel did all right with his two scripts.
Instead of himself.
Yeah.
Who can't fucking write.
So we'll have plenty to complain about with this story. So, for now,
yes,
this is the beginning of Mysterious Planet, which is billed as Trial of a Time Lord Parts 1 to 4, because they're all technically one big 14-part story, but you just compartmentalize them.
There's no way we could possibly cover all 14 parts in one.
No, it doesn't even matter anyway. You could easily compartmentalize them.
Is it a challenge, I hear?
Well, no, we've done parts 9 to 12.
Yeah, so this is parts 1 to 4. So let's get into the Mysterious Planet and open with a nice fucking model.
It's only a model.
I came back to the notes. So admittedly, this is a really good model shot. The way it pans over the model and you've got the synth music, it's a very, very good shot. It also cost half their fucking budget.
Yeah.
What?
So maybe they should have... So it's a very nice shot, but maybe they should have spent a little more on, making the story slightly better than one nice model shot. Just maybe.
They do reuse the model shot, in fairness, in other parts of the trial.
Was the model made out of fucking diamonds?
It's the BBC. They basically had like 2 pence to rub together back then.
I think it got... Did it get reused after the
still.
trial as well? I can't remember.
Not after the trial, no. But it shows up again as establishing shots in, I think, Ultimate Foe, actually.
Yeah, I think Ultimate Foe and maybe Mind Warp, but don't...
Yeah, I don't remember if it was in Mind Warp.
They use it again anyway. They get their money's worth out of this model.
Either way, we pan across this model, and then all of a sudden, a beam of light comes out of it, and it pulls the TARDIS inside, like a tractor beam. And then the TARDIS materializes inside, and out comes a slightly confused Colin Baker, who walks up some steps, enters a room, and a voice in the darkness in this dark room is like, "Ah, hello, Doctor. So good of you to come. I feared you had lost your way." The Doctor banters with this figure a bit, and then the lights come on, and he mentions there are lots of distinguished Time Lords here, and in comes another Time Lord lady, and it becomes clear that this is a Gallifreyan inquiry into the meddling affairs of Doctor Who.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
The Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor here, she's basically the judge.
She's not named in this story, but she does get a name in Big Finish. She's Inquisitor Darkle.
I see.
Played by the late Linda Bellingham.
And the prosecution is a very interesting character for the trial season, and also played very well. We'll for now we won't let loose. We know who the fuck he is, but for now we're just going to call him, as Robert Holmes writes him, a Time Lord prosecutor known as the Valeyard, played by Michael Jayston.
Yep.
Hey.
And as I said, he's instigating an inquiry into the Doctor's interference in time. They do mention the Doctor was tried once before for this meddling bullshit. Reference to the War Games. And the Valeyard's like, yeah, he was. And it's my opinion he got off light.
Yeah, I mean, he lost his memories, he lost his companions, he was sent out to Earth and couldn't get off of it for a year, but he got off light.
He got off light, yeah.
Well, I know one law that's not a thing on Gallifrey, apparently.
What's that?
Double jeopardy.
Okay, I'll let you have that. You played that in beautifully.
That's good. That's good. Good. If you've got a Phoenix Wright theme in there, I'll be even more impressed.
I'm waiting for an objection at some point.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm waiting for an objection at some point, but let's just see if it happens.
Yeah, that'd be good. But
she bought me the Phoenix Wright trilogy for Christmas one year. I think it's coming, but let's find out.
I mean, that's a very good buy.
I didn't say anything yet.
Yeah,
true.
So the Doctor also raises another objection, a bit of continuity that we've covered on the show before, that he's Lord President of the Gallifrey, which he was as of the 5 Doctors. But then the Inquisitor's like, actually, you ran the fuck off, so you were deposed. So sit the fuck back down.
I do like how when the Time Lord's all into the courtroom, the Doctor doesn't get up.
He sort of like starts to get up and then he sits back down. He's like, fuck it.
Yeah, basically.
Why should I have to get up? They should only be getting up for me.
We should also point out it's quite important that he is alone here.
Yeah, no companion.
No companion, no Perry.
How strange.
Yeah. So he also refuses the court's offering of a defense lawyer because he's like, no, I can do it. It'd be better.
He claims to be weary of them after past experiences.
Which, that's strange. We've never seen a televised adventure where he's had a Time Lord lawyer. He didn't have a lawyer in the War Games.
The Deadly Assassin?
He wasn't really on trial in Deadly Assassin. He was more arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it happened off
I
screen.
have no idea. I haven't seen it, so.
It's a Tom Baker serial.
Yeah. So, the Valeyard is the prosecution in this inquiry, and he has 2 exhibits of evidence to share with the court about the Doctor's interference in time and space. And he mentions that these are recorded in the Matrix, the repository of all Time Lord knowledge.
Yes, an extreme database of all knowledge of the Time Lords that is possible. That will not come into play later on.
This also debuted in The Deadly Assassin. And the Doctor actually went inside it for an episode and a half and got chased by monsters and shit. It was real trippy and interesting. So Robert Holmes is clearly... This script is clearly Robert Holmes using a lot of old ideas and making sort of a greatest hits compilation, if you will. Because he's an old man just reusing a lot of stuff that... good ideas he had.
He was also ill at the time, so...
Yeah, he's also ill at the time and dying, so we'll cut him a little slack.
Yeah.
We'll cut him just a little slack on the account of, oh God, the man's dying.
The only criticism I'm prepared to launch at him is that it wasn't his best work, and justifiably so, because he was ill at the time.
Yeah, because he was dying.
Well, I don't know if he knew he was dying at the time. He certainly was ill.
He caught hepatitis from bad shellfish, I believe.
Oh God! Oh really?
Yeah, I believe that's what killed him.
I didn't know how he died. That's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah.
So I don't know the timeline of when he fell ill and all. So, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Let's focus back on the plotting here. Yeah, benefit of the doubt.
So Exhibit A, and the focus of this 4-part adventure, is a recording of the Doctor's adventure on the planet Ravelock. And this is the conceit of 3/4 of Trial of a Time Lord. We've already covered this in Terror of the Pure Voids, though. Cat never saw it quite like this, given weird fan bullshit. So the idea is that the entire adventure has technically already happened and we're watching the instant replay as recorded by Time Lord Matrix bullshit.
Yeah.
And every 10 minutes or so, we're going to cut back from the standard Doctor Who adventure to the trial to bring up some objection or raise some concern or whatever. Or to just remind you sometimes I feel it's just reminding you of the conceit because this was a weekly show.
Yeah.
And if you missed an episode, they might be like, oh, by the way, Valeyard, as you know, the Doctor Who is on trial for his life, and we're watching this evidence, so let's return to watching the evidence.
Yeah, they do it a bit much in this episode.
They do.
Obviously, when we did Terror of the Vervoids, I did not get these because someone thoughtfully cut them out for me, which was nice. I mean, no spoilers or anything.
There weren't too many of them to cut out, though.
We mentioned
they left in some of the important parts. Like, I believe the ending was left in, where it's like,
genocide,
I
motherfucker.
put the Doctor on trial for genocide. And blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah, the trial keeps changing, which we're going to see at the end of part 1 here, but let's talk about, we'll just cut into the adventure. So, we cut to the Doctor and Perry on planet Ravelox. Just walking around the forest, and the Doctor remarks that Ravelox has the exact same mass, angle of tilt, and planetary rotation as planet Earth, so he wanted to check it out, because that's a strange coincidence. And according to the records on Gallifrey, planet Ravelox was destroyed by a solar fireball 500 years ago.
Doesn't look that destroyed
No,
to me.
it looks
or
fine.
To Perry.
Looks fine where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Also, remember this is Ravelox, not Gravelox. Gravelox is a fish. Ravelox is a planet.
Gravelox is a fish, but yeah, close enough.
Close enough. Perry remarks that there are no birds in the forest, and then she also remarks, and this is a fun continuity bit, because Perry, in her introduction, is a botany student, a university student studying botany. So she points out, since she knows plants, that any soil would be sterile from a giant planetary fireball hitting it. So how is there a whole forest growing here?
Hey, Rainiac.
Yeah?
Don't patronize me.
Yeah, she says it to the Doctor.
Yeah, but now this is kind of a good thing, but also it's a goddamn complaint for me in a way. So the Doctor is just like, "Oh, good job, Perry." Perry says, "Don't patronize me," and the Doctor says, "Well, I knew you were a student of botany, so you could figure it out." And there's a great line where Perry's like, "Is there any intelligent life on this planet apart from me, you mean?" Let's go find out. So, here's the thing about this. This is both good, and it pisses me. It's good because the Doctor and Perry are actually getting along.
Yeah, he's not being cruel to her openly.
He's not being openly cruel to her. There's a bit later where he's, like, sympathetic, but not, like, overly so.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's fine. But this is a good doctor-companion relationship as of this episode.
Too bad it doesn't last that long.
Too bad it doesn't last that long, and more to the point, too bad they couldn't have fucking done this to begin with in the Colin Baker era.
Yeah.
Instead, they had to go with, hey, what if we make our doctor an unlikable jackass? Oh, shit, they canceled us. Go back. They like each other now.
What if we made the Doctor a sociopath? Why not?
I'm just thinking of that meme where it's like they press the upgrade and then the next screen is fuck, go back.
Fuck, go back.
Oh, speaking of, I wanted to mention this. They also decided to change Perry's outfits because a bunch of people complained and said that her outfits were too provocative for younger audiences.
Well, yeah, she does have a fully buttoned-up shirt. No, windows or anything.
Was it Mary Whitehouse that complained by any chance?
I don't know. It just says that there were complaints. Let's just assume that they were all unanimously named Karen.
It's entirely possible.
Mary Whitehouse is the ultimate Karen of Doctor Who, but that's for the Deadly Assassin podcast.
Mary Whitehouse is the ultimate Karen of life.
Yeah, that's a mood.
Well, either way, they're walking around on the planet trying to find things, and they manage to find a sort of, I suppose, a necklace on the ground. That's what it looks like to me. And so they determine that, oh, there must be somebody else here, so they get walking. And then they're seen by two people.
Ah, yes, my two favourite characters.
One of whom we've seen before.
Glitz. Sabalom Glitz.
It's Glitz.
Should we bring up the thing here?
Yeah, let's do it now. So this was almost a much more tragic edition of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because at the weekend it was reported that Tony Selby, who's the actor that plays Glitz, had sadly passed away. And it turns out they jumped the gun. It was a different Tony Selby that died.
Yeah. So this Tony Selby is alive and well.
So we send our condolences to that Tony Selby's family. And
And we also send the condolences to this Toby Selby's family because they must have been freaked the fuck out.
His agent confirmed that he was alive and well, and apparently he was surprised but amused to find reports of his own death on Twitter.
Reports of my death were greatly exaggerated.
Basically.
Is it a little dark that I just suddenly had an idea of his agent being behind him, directing him to wave in a Weekend at Bernie's moment?
Oh my God!
He's totally alive, guys. He is. Promise.
Oh my God! So Glitz and Dibber are basically a double act of space mercenaries.
They are the best thing for me. They are the best thing about this whole thing.
This is a well-worn Robert Holmes Doctor Who trope. The double act of mercenaries.
I don't care. They play off each other so well.
They work well. I do love the monologue that Glitz has about his psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Which is so good. My psychiatrist diagnosed me with I don't even remember the line. Let's get up Chakotaya and get that shit, because I didn't write down the line.
It's such a good line. Honestly, he has some fantastic lines.
They both do.
One later on that I absolutely love.
I love the little exchange they have between philanthropy and philately.
That's the one. Nice. That's the one I love.
Oh, that's nice. The transcript has all the trial bullshit in italics.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the line. Whereas yours is a simple case of sociopathy, Dibber, my malaise is much more complex. A deep-rooted maladjustment, my psychiatrist said, brought on by an infantile inability to come to terms with the more pertinent concrete aspects of life. That sounds more like an insult than a diagnosis, Mr. Glitz. You're right there, my lad. Mind you, I had just attempted to kill him.
I do love the way these two play off each other. Yes, they're comic relief. Yes, they're roguish. But I like those characters.
They're good comic relief.
They're also ready to snipe the doctor's head clean off.
Yeah.
Until he ducks down into a passageway. Oh, fuck, I hate when they get lucky.
He also hates competition. He says that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then they go on a little monologue here. They think the doctor is here to go after what they're after. And they also mention that down below where the doctor's going, and they say this very quickly, there's some sort of robot down there. It's powered by something called a light converter. And there's a village that has turned the light converter into a totem pole, and Glitz and Dibber want to destroy it to disable the robot.
Or take it off their hands, either way.
I'll take it off their hands.
Whichever.
Yeah.
They want to relieve the primitives of their totem pole, anyway.
Yep.
And Perry gets an interesting bit here where she thinks she's been here before.
Oh boy.
It's time for Rainiac's favorite part.
Wait, excuse me a second.
And also a part that really doesn't come into play later on. It's like literally this one little bit and that's it.
Well, Ultimate Foe. This is set up for Ultimate Foe.
So
in other words, we can't talk about that yet.
Hey, we brought it back! Keeping the trope alive!
Yep. So, do you remember how when we did Orphan 55, and I started the podcast with a very loud scream?
Uh-huh.
Well, I can't do that now because there are too many people in the house.
You know what you could do, though, is go back, clip a segment from that
No.
and play it here.
I've got it covered. You see, I've literally got it covered. Because if I scream into a pillow here that I've just grabbed, they won't hear it, but you will. So for old time's sake...
I barely heard that. That's not how you scream. You scream like this. There you go.
I love the fact cut out. The fact it cut out makes it even
Still cut
better.
out?
I hate that. God, you cheap USB microphones. I don't know what pitch I can scream at to make it loud.
It's a Paul workman that blames his tools.
Fools blames his...
later.
1 to 10. So okay, yeah, we're fucking around, but oh my God, I was wrong. It was Earth all along.
Yeah. Now,
Hi, Orphan 55.
is this better than Orphan 55 or not? I would argue possibly not.
Oh shit!
Because
he
at
said
least,
something in praise of Orphan 55.
at least with Orphan 55, it had an actual bearing on the plot.
Again,
Yeah.
well, I'd say again, Ultimate Foe, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it does come good in Ultimate Foe, yeah, but we're not doing the Ultimate Foe, so it doesn't here. The mystery is not solved within the 4 parts of The Mysterious Planet.
Which is fine for a long run.
Despite it being called The Mysterious Planet.
I mean, that's the mystery. It's what's with this.
No, we
Well,
already
we know
established
the
that
name.
the mystery is evolution.
But
yes.
we are in a Marble Arch Station, which I believe, I gather, is a London Underground station.
Which again is how they figured out that Orphan 55 was Earth, because didn't they go into like a Russian Siberian railway line?
Oh my God!
Not an original bone in his body.
Hey,
None
hey,
whatsoever.
hey, y'all! Oh, I just realized. In 1986, when Trial of a Time Lord ended, they had this. There's this. You have this. You own this now, Kat. It's an extra on the Ultimate Foe Blu-ray.
Oh no.
They had this thing called Open Air. It was a BBC talk show where they brought on a bunch of Doctor Who fans to talk about how they perceived the episodes. And one of those Doctor Who fans who critiqued the episodes was a baby Chris Chibnall.
Yep.
Excuse me a second. Hi, I'm back.
Now that's a scream.
Good.
We got all that scream. Well done.
Oh, good.
Oh, I can't wait until we actually do the Ultimate Foe podcast.
Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
Oh, I just thought that because I mentioned baby Chris Chibnall complaining about Trial of a Time Lord that you were not fine.
I'm expecting a knock on
Excuse
your
me a
door,
moment.
seeing if you're okay any minute now, but...
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
Oh, just because, I thought you were having a bad time because of the baby Chris Chibnall thing.
Excuse me a moment.
Oh, no. People are going to think there's a murder taking place.
Hi.
Okay, we got the rules.
Yeah, don't mention that name. It makes her scream.
Yes, and next time I might not take off the mic to do it.
I seriously hope you're alone in the house today, Kat, because otherwise you're going to get some questions to answer.
I am. I am completely alone in my house, so it's just like, I'm sure my neighbors are wondering, what the
Yeah, I was
fuck
going to
is
say, I
going
think they've
on there?
reported 3 murders.
So the doctor mentions, well, it could just be a coincidence that they had a place on Ravalox called Marble Arch. Yeah, and they wrote in English. That's another impossible coincidence. But, I mean, this can't be Earth. It's in the wrong part of space, and all the Gallifreyan records say it's Ravalox. So either A, a whole bunch of bullshit coincidence happened, or B, the planet Earth got shifted in time and space.
I'm sorry, but when you said it was in the wrong place, all I thought was, so you have Earth in the wrong part of space in the wrong time, entirely localized in your kitchen?
Yes.
Can I see it?
No.
Oh.
And this is also 2 million years in the future, as we say.
Yeah, roughly.
Yet another possible end of Earth situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Perry is just like, what happened to London? It wiped out if this was London. Oh, doctor, I know it is. I can feel it. Now, don't get emotional. Excuse me. Like, okay, there's still a little bit of, that Colin Baker uncaring nature to him. Doctor, my entire planet burned to the ground. Now don't get emotional.
Doctor,
Yes,
everyone I know is
let's
dead.
just wait
Suck
a
it up,
couple of
Buttercup.
years or so when he decides to burn down his entire planet by himself.
Oh yeah. When Perry's planet is burned, it's don't get emotional. But when his planet is burned, it's David Tennant crying in the rain.
That was nothing to do with the Time War.
Yeah, but it's a good image.
That was him losing Donna. We were all crying that. Rose. Losing Rose.
You just reminded me of losing Donna. Excuse me for a
Oh
moment.
no. Still not coming free, but we get the idea.
Did it peak?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
It peaked
Goddamn.
horribly.
It's funny that it peaked.
Yeah. Right. And now we get the first interruption. The doctor in the trials is like, why do I have to sit here watching Perry get upset while two unsavory adventurers bully a bunch of natives? And he's like, wait, actually, where is Perry? Where you left her, Doctor. Don't you remember? Obviously a side effect of being taken out of time and space, but you'll remember in due time.
Yeah.
So,
He's
we can't
relishing in
talk
this,
about
so
that.
it's obvious something bad has happened, but
But we can't talk about that yet.
we can't. No, that's for another story,
Yeah.
another part of the trial, if you will.
Yeah. I'm not getting full critique into the trial yet, but I do kind of like how the Doctor tries to reassure Perry here. It's a unique take that does feel sensible for Colin Baker's Doctor, where he's just like, oh, Perry, you know that this doesn't matter. This isn't your time and place. Your world is still fine. This is just the distant future. You'll be long dead before this planet is burned in fire. It's all still waiting for you back home.
Which is
And
a
besides,
similar. That's a similar exchange to what the Ninth Doctor has with Rose in End of the World, but it's so much more caring than that.
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, my throat is starting to really bother me right now. I'm not entirely sure as
I
to why.
can't imagine why.
Neither can I. I do like this line from the Doctor. Planets come and go, stars perish, matter disperses, coalesces, reforms into other patterns, other worlds. Nothing can be eternal. So,
Except for the Eternals.
except the
Who
Eternals.
wants to live forever?
Very good.
So on and so forth.
And so on and so forth. We really just brought down a Queen lyric too, and so on and so forth.
Look, there is no way anything I could do could possibly even come close to competing with the great late Freddie Mercury. I almost said
Eddie Mercury.
What's wrong with me?
Eddie Mercury.
Eddie Mercury.
So, we should mention, it's just a little quick cutaway here, but Glitz and Dibber are walking around the forest, and they see peasants, and Glitz just casually throws a grenade to get their attention.
I love that.
Why not?
Why not? To prove that they have superior technology, I guess. And then he's got a great line where he's like, I always feel silly saying this. Take me to your leader.
Yeah.
It's real good.
It is really good. And again, these two characters, Glitz and Dibber, they're side characters, but they have so much personality.
Again, it's a Robert Holmes double act.
They really do make an impression on you.
This is one of the things he's great at.
It's kind of a shame when Glitz showed up again in Dragonfire that Dibber didn't join him.
Yeah.
I suppose he had Ace for that. He had Ace to play off.
Yeah,
and then
true
Mel.
too.
But
anyway, so the Doctor and Perry then decide. Well, they split up because the Doctor finds a hatch leading deeper down to the underground, and he wants to explore, and Perry doesn't want to explore, so she stays up there. She's like, "Oh, fine, I'll just wait for you." Maybe I'll go look around where they used to sell candy bars and magazines. And she wanders around and is kidnapped in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, almost
flat.
immediately she's kidnapped. The Doctor says that he can't leave a mystery unsolved. Because Perry's like, can we just go back to the TARDIS? He says, I can't leave a mystery unsolved, Perry. So she gets kidnapped by two soldiers. And then we meet the Primitives leader. Oh dear.
Oh.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I think you should take this one, Rainiac.
Okay, so I did not know this actress was ever in Doctor Who until I watched this story. This is Joan Sim, a famous Carry On actress. Was in most of the Carry Ons. I've heard her call her a comic actress. She plays a lot of comedic roles in those films and over a bit. Not really a serious actress. I'm not trying to be too disrespectful to her. She did a lot of comedic roles.
So on this side of the pond, would it be fair to equate a Carry On movie to, say, the Scary Movie franchise?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Carry On was British comedy, which we've already covered it a bit with Peter Butterworth.
But it's like British parody comedy.
Yeah, kind of. There was one set in like the Raj. There was one set like it was a spying. It was a James Bond parody. There was a Hammer horror movie parody. Things like that.
Okay, yeah. So it's just genre shifting, general goofy parody bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So she's one of the major stars of these. Unfortunately, they gave her this role.
So they gave a legendary comic actress this completely played straight role.
Yeah, and even Joan Sim did not like the part.
Jesus.
She stuck with it, but she later said she did not like the part. So
an attempt was made.
She's basically Boadicea or Boudica. The
Oh, cool.
British
She was
Queen.
in the Cluedo TV series.
Yeah, as was Tom Baker
Nice.
and Christopher Biggins.
I don't know if it's the same season, but you know.
It wouldn't be the same season.
Nice.
They changed it every season, every series.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I don't know if it was the same one.
Anyway, Glitz tries to lie to her face about the light converter. He says, "Oh, it's a navigational beacon that's gone bad. I need to fix it." And well, the character's name is Katrika.
Katrika, yeah. So that even sounds like a bit like she's trying to channel Boudica.
Uh-huh. And she's just like, "Yeah, I know you're full of shit. A lot of people from space have come talking about that bullshit. Guard, seize them!" And they take their guns.
There's a great bit where Glitz says, "I assure you, my credentials are bona fide." He just tries to pull a gun on her,
Here come the guns.
but he's intercepted, and she basically says, "Yes, we've seen the credentials from everyone else that tried to ask for this totem pole as well. They all failed, and so will you." Uh-oh.
Bum.
And now a whole bunch of shit happens. So the Doctor is down in these tunnels, very futuristic looking tunnels, and he sees some jars of water laying around. He picks one up, and all the fucking alarms in the place go off. Water thief, we've got a water thief.
And he is clubbed by goons in yellow suits and like face protectors.
And now we get to have a lot of fun, because now we see a robot.
The Immortal.
Yay!
Well, we hear a robot. You know, it's talking
Yeah.
like this.
We also see him addressing a guy dressed in black wearing far too much eyeliner.
Oh, now, did you two pick up on this? Tell me you two picked up on this.
Picked up on what?
The guy in black.
It's Tom Chadbourne.
Tom Chadbourne.
Oh, good God! Good God!
And who's Tom Chadbourne?
It's Duggan!
It's Duggan!
I didn't realise because of the eye makeup.
Oh, I didn't recognize him at all.
He looks totally different, in fairness.
Yeah, it is like almost a decade later.
Yeah.
From City of
I'm
Death.
also distracted by the fact that the guards' helmets look like watermelons.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Duggan!
It's Duggan.
Well, I didn't see watermelons. I saw more bloodstains.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so this guy's Merdine. He's the sort of right-hand man of this immortal character that we're going to meet a bit later on.
Yep.
We don't see much more of Merdine or the robot in part one. It's just like he's just monitoring what's going on. So yeah, the Doctor is now chained to a post by these goons.
We meet another character, Balazar, the keeper of the books.
I keep trying to call him Balthazar. It's Balazar.
Yeah, and you know, this is just some more fun post-apocalyptic jokes, where the only 3 books that have survived the burning of the fireball are Moby Dick, the Water Babies, and a mysterious book with inscrutable text called "The Habitat of the UK Habitat of the
Canadian Goose." Yeah. I love the fact that he says that one of the texts is called "Mo by Dick" by Herman Melville.
Yeah. Anyway, they're going to stone the doctor to death for stealing water. And the doctor tries to put his umbrella up to block the rocks, but it doesn't really work. He's like, "Ooh, black rock! Ooh, I got one in the face."
Yeah, one still beats him in the face, and then they just rush forward and apparently beat him to death, while it clicks off in the trial.
Of course, since this is the trial, even the idea of the cliffhanger is kind of muted because the doctor survives.
The trial could have worked as a framing device, but they don't handle it very well.
Yeah, because this is almost every cliffhanger of the trial. Well, there's a cliffhanger in the story of they're watching, but the doctor's fine because he's sitting there watching it, and indeed it cuts back to him and he's go, "Hey, wasn't that nice? That trick with my umbrella." And the actual cliffhanger is the Valeyard going, "I move to change this inquiry to a trial, and if the doctor is found guilty, I strongly recommend the termination of his life."
Michael Jayston is really loving his work as the Valeyard here.
Oh yeah, he does a fantastic job.
He's probably the other good thing about this. I don't like the constant cutaways to the trial room, but when it does, he really does play off Colin Baker really well.
I haven't critiqued them yet, but I will later. But that's part one. So, the cliffhanger being both, the doctor got stoned, how'd he get out of that? And, he's on trial for his life now. Oh, shit. Which is funny when you take into account Terror of the Vervoids, the fact that Gallifreyan laws they can change what they're in court for at the drop of a hat. Okay, we're here for inquiry. Actually, fuck the inquiry. This is a trial. It's a trial for the doctor's interference. Okay,
this really is Phoenix, right? They just change whatever they want at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
I'm not making any goddamn sense. Turnabout defense.
Quick, get that parrot on the stand.
I've got to get into
That's not a parrot. That's Colin Baker's coat.
Oh shit! Sorry. Get that rude parrot on the stand then.
Please tell me that's in the first 3 games, because it means I have yet to get to him.
What? Yes, Rainiac, you'll see.
Oh, good.
Please
goody gumdrops.
Rainiac, please play the Phoenix Wright. You know what? Viewers at home, please play the Phoenix Wright.
Yes.
I will play the games.
You get the first 3 as a group on your DS, on your Switch, on your computer.
The problem is that I have so much in my backlog and only so many hours in the day to play games, but I will get onto it.
Good.
Because the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles are coming out in, I think, July.
Well, that's more of a spin-off than anything, but...
Still is good.
So. Also, you have to play Apollo Justice, which is a semi-spin-off, but also a continuation of the story.
I'm not sure I can get that through legal means.
That's basically a sequel.
Yeah, but I call it a semi-spin-off just because it stars somebody else as the main
Unfortunately,
person.
I don't think that's on a means for me to play it on PC or Switch yet, but...
Isn't it?
I mean, there is a way to play it on PC. It's just, a
legal way to play it on PC.
Good luck with that.
A morally justifiable way of playing it on PC, but yes, anyway.
So, let's go to part 2, where the doctor's response to the fact that the Valeyard has just changed this from an inquiry to a full-on trial. He's just like, "Oh, so you want me dead, huh? How about that?" And the cliffhanger resolution in the evidence is that the Immortal halts this stoning because the Immortal wants to talk to the doctor.
He's intrigued by his fashion style and wants to get some tips.
Oh, Jesus. So Merdine shows up on his little tram, and he's like, "Is this guy still alive?" "Oh, yeah, he's fine. He'll be fine." "Okay, let's take him to the Immortal. Let's go." And meanwhile, Perry is now brought as a captive before Katrika.
Oh, God, yeah.
Who asks her name and stuff, and it's like, "Oh, Perry, excellent." "Well, we don't have many women in the tribe of the free, Perry. We're going to have to find you some good husbands." Husbands? Plural? What?
The one known as Perry was snoozed by the large men, then by the petite men, then by the large men again.
Oh, God. And So then we cut to. Oh yeah, we get it.
Then we cut to two mistakes.
Oh,
I hate these guys.
okay, who wants? Okay, what the fuck are their Handrel and Tumner? What the fuck are their names even?
Tandril and Humka.
Thing 1 and Thing 2.
But their names are irrelevant.
Oh, good Christ! Oh.
They're even irrelevant in the narrative of the episode because the Doctor constantly mocks them for it.
I have a fucking theory, and I've seen The Mysterious Planet a good like 5 or 6 times before.
Poor you.
This podcast. I know, but this never clicked for me because I wasn't really in taking notes and critical mindset that you had to be in for the podcast, and also because I hadn't watched a certain other Colin Baker story in close-ish proximity. But I have a fucking theory here. Hanker and Tundrel, Tumble and Handweed, whatever the fuck you want to call them, are Robert Holmes
Hinge and bracket.
making fun of the twin dilemma.
It could be.
I would think so, because they're 10,000 times more annoying than the kid actors, funnily
Let's
enough.
just call them Hinge and bracket and have done with it.
Think about you
Bubble
bring
and
back
Squeak.
you bring back your grand relaunch of Doctor Who after it's been cancelled.
Sylvester and
And-
Stallone.
You're taking the piss by fucking having annoying twins, like how your first grand relaunch completely failed in part because you had annoying twins. And they're not even like twins; they're just a duo.
This is the
I don't
worst
know.
podcast timeline because I've already had to say something in vague praise of Orphan 55, and now I've got to say something in vague praise about the twin dilemma. The twins are better than these two idiots.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Like,
Rainiac.
I think they are supposed to be related, maybe not necessarily twins, but they styled them to look like twins.
Yeah.
almost.
Well, they were apparently chosen to assist the immortal, and they're like, oh, well, they've clearly been eaten, but they haven't been eaten.
Do we actually see the immortal at this point? Is this when we get the reveal of the robot?
This is the reveal that the immortal is in fact a robot.
It's not a bad
Minotaur.
robot design.
It's a good prop.
You know it looks like a Minotaur, you know.
It kind of does.
I didn't think of that. We did it again.
It looks like it's
Rainiac. Put the Minotaur from Time Monster, the Minotaur from Mind Robber, and the robot Immortal up at the same time.
If I can remember to do that, I'll do that.
You're gonna remember when you're sitting there editing, and you're gonna be like, "Ah, shit! Now I had to edit."
Here,
So
hang
that-
on, I'll help. There you
That's
go.
a pro-
Helping? Helping. Yeah, that's helping.
That's helping. Yeah.
Oh, just you wait. You're probably going to be seeing that picture a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it set to my hard drive, so yes.
The Immortal then orders handbrake and turn loose to activate the service robot.
I love that this is just another background score of Colossus, but we can't be bothered to say the actual names.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah,
Essentially, we have the bad, and the ugly, which is the robot.
I do like the service robot's design as well.
It's fun. I don't know if we see it just yet, but
I think we do. The L1. This is the L1.
yeah, it's it's just sort of like it's a cute little robot design. It's just a little.
We get a preview of it before it actually does anything, of any note, but it will later on. But meanwhile, back in prison, Perry is
locked up.
Glitz and Dibber.
Yay!
A whole bunch of fun happens. Perry lets slip that the Doctor is a Time Lord, and already Glitz is plotting with him. Oh, he's a Time Lord, is he? Oh, maybe they sent it. Maybe they sent him to get the stuff, eh?
But then they think he's a rogue, so it's okay, because he's a rogue like us.
Mm.
Maybe we can do business with him. Maybe we can manipulate him. Maybe we can do something with him that doesn't involve killing him.
And then Perry shames polyamory, which is it's actually a fun joke. It's just like, oh, that Katrika, she wanted to set me up with multiple husbands. Oh well, that's not so bad. On our home planet, people have 6 husbands at a time. Well, it's kind of like that on my planet, but they usually just do that one at a time.
Yeah. Was that a Henry VIII joke?
I think it was just a general divorce joke.
For 6 wives, maybe, but...
Maybe.
I could be reading too much into it. It's entirely possible.
By the way, if anybody wants a really, really good play that's not about Henry VIII, but instead about his wives, go look up Six. It's fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Six is a trip.
Yeah, Colin Baker's a real...
I mean, it's funny how people going on about a black Anne Boleyn when, if you watch Six, 3 of the wives are black.
How about that?
In certain of the performances.
Also, if you are particularly sensitive to certain topics that have to do with sexual stuff, maybe don't watch Six.
Yeah.
Ew,
I mean,
that's
the Anne Boleyn drama was bad, but not because it had a black Anne Boleyn in it.
Uh-huh.
It was just bad.
So let's talk about something a little more cheerful than that.
Yeah.
Let me check my notes here. Oh yeah, Glitz gassing all the underground people. Oh,
yeah,
wait.
so they are very keen to point out that this is not a good guy. He is a rogue. He's an anti-hero. He may even be considered a villain, but he's still a fun character. I'm sorry.
He's kind of the Han Solo of this, but with a bit more evil to him.
A bit less morality than Han Solo, but
yeah.
I still can't hate him. And
Glitz shot first.
Glitz would definitely
Glitz
shoot
will
first.
always shoot first.
Yeah.
I mean, he shot the air in this episode, but that was about it. But
Well, Perry is like, hey, you can't do that. That's fucked up. Well, I mean, it's business, you know.
Yeah. And then the Doctor meets the Immortal.
And the Immortal actually has a name. I
love the little reference to the Bible here about the pillar of salt.
It's so...
Because Midian's like, when you see the Immortal, when you were in the presence of the Immortal, to spin to look upon the Immortal. Why? Because I'll turn into a pillar of salt. So they don't know, they don't understand that. But yeah, so this robot is Drafro. It's an L3 robot. He is also aware of the Time Lords, so it's not just Glitz and Dibber. The assistants make a right use of themselves, trying to remove the contents of the Doctor's coat.
I think he's like an android or some shit. And Drafro's like, the Doctor's not a robot, you fucking idiots!
The Doctor is having none of it. He keeps taking the thing. I think a teddy bear is removed at one point.
Yeah.
What was that doing in there? God knows.
I don't know.
So the Doctor is therefore conscripted by the Immortal, Drafro, to fix the black light power supply. Because Drafro is tied to the supply.
Yep.
And if it ceases to function, so will the robot, and therefore, not completely unjustifiably, the robot doesn't want this to happen. So
we're going to come back to this, but just one thing I need to bring up that happened slightly beforehand is that Perry, Glitz, and Dibber are all brought back before Katrika, who has consulted the Sacred Fires and decreed that there must be a blood sacrifice to appease the gods. And they're going to burn Sabala and Glitz at the stake.
I love how Dibber casually throws his own boss under the bus. It's like, the gods demand a sacrifice. What, all 3 of us? No, just him. And the look that Glitz gives Dibber is priceless. He doesn't say yeah, thanks for that, lad. Friends like who these are. He just sort of goes, oh God, you put me in it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You get the impression he's done this before to him.
So once we get through that scene where handbrake and turn rail fucking go through the Doctor's
Mary Kay and Ashley.
Yeah. Once we get that, we cut back to the trial, and this is where I get to start to go off. Because the Inquisitor basically asks, is this all relevant, Valeyard? We're really straying from the point here. So I'm going to go over just what happens in this trial interruption, and then I'll get to my main complaint, I think. So it's just, the Valeyard's like, well, the point of this is to show that the Doctor is a disruptive, corrupting influence. And if he'd never come to Ravelox, all of this would not have happened. And the Doctor then is insulting the vet. He calls him the boatyard, which this is a running thing where he's just making Nate, calling him
the
names.
Boatyard, the graveyard,
the Knacker's yard. It's real immature bullshit.
It's really pure round. Doesn't help.
It doesn't help. No, I mean it doesn't. It doesn't help with Colin Baker, especially. No, you fucking graveyard here is full of shit.
He does get some good moments in the trial bits, but this is not one of them.
And the Inquisitor calls him, "Your puerile attempts at diplomacy are not appreciated." Anyway, so here's this thing. She's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna let me check my notes and just see if when do we bring this shit up? Not yet. Not yet. We'll say.
Okay.
We're gonna save that damning evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
yeah. So let's get back into it. Yeah.
Well, we get twin escapes basically. So
the blacklight system is prone to failure. So the doctor has to fix it.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute, I don't know shit about blacklight. And Drafto's like, fix it or die.
So something on the surface interfering with the power supply. So
and then
like, I need to go and fix this, and then he's like, this is clearly an attempt to escape. Stay where you are. And then the doctor does something rather clever.
Before that, we have another trial interruption, where once Drafto's like, fix it or die, it cuts back and Doctor's like, I object.
I was waiting for it.
I knew it. It was happening. Okay.
Would you like to know the fun part?
What's the fun part?
I did not have that on my soundboard originally. It wasn't until Rainiac said it that I went ahead and downloaded it.
I figured there was a reason you were being silent.
Beautiful. But yeah, the doctor's objection is just, well, I'm charged with interfering, yet you can clearly see that I'm working under duress here. The guy is like, fix it or die. And the Inquisitor's like, that's a good point. Valeyard, what is this? And the Valeyard's like, well, if he hadn't interrupted, the point I wish to make would have become obvious. The doctor's like, oh, well, I apologize. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Carry on.
Carry on. Which, oh, look at that! The doctor learned how to fucking apologize when he opens his big mouth and says something stupid!
Amazing. It's a Christmas miracle.
Continue, Rainiac.
If only he would do that more often.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as I say, we get twin escapes here, basically. So the doctor does something clever. He basically plays at the idea that he's going to work with the two assistants, Jedward, and... I mean, there's a kind of a resemblance, but we'll just leave it at that. But
Billy Bob and Bolly Bib.
he's going to work with Tweedledum and Tweedledummer to fix the blacklight system. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I appreciate that one.
They don't know what they're doing. So this is going to be great because if it's not fixed, everyone will die in a gigantic explosion. So the doctor says, all right, I'll fix it. So here, Dreffro, I've only got two hands. Would you just take hold of this, please? And you, handbag, is it? Yeah, that's it. He calls one handbag.
Hold on to this shit.
Humbug and handbag. You put your finger on that button, and you put your finger on that button, handbag, and just stay right there. And he shocks the hell out of them.
And then he runs away. And it's great, because right outside the doors is that L1 robot on treads. And the doctor is just like, look over! The robot turns and he runs in the other side of it.
And he runs into Medine.
Ooh.
And Balazar, and he thinks, oh, right, I'm going to take it straight back to the Immortal. Not so, because Medine is secretly a turncoat.
Yes. In a scene prior to this, Medine brought over Balazar, and he's like, okay, I want you to listen. There's no fire up above. We can get out of here whenever we want to. The Immortal just does not want us to escape. Okay? So, if we get the chance, I want you to go with the doctor. Alright?
Yeah. Medine has been sending people to the surface to join the Tribe of the Free. That's Ketria's people for quite some time.
And also, as he's whispering this to Balazar in this scene, one of his other guards is clearly hiding behind like a pillar, listening to the entire fucking thing.
Yeah, Grell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll pay off in unexpected ways later on, but
yeah. Another little bit of a lore that is here in my notes. So the blacklight system, it powers Drathro, but it also maintained 3 sleepers from the planet Andromeda, but they're all dead now. And if the blacklight goes bad, shit's gonna blow up big.
Yeah, and they're all dead because the robot Drathro is only programmed to be a maintenance robot.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do it. It couldn't do anything. I shouldn't call it he. Sorry. It couldn't do anything to help, and the Free Sleepers perished in stasis.
And also,
honestly, it's not a very good maintenance bot. It can't even keep up its own black light system.
Yeah.
But also, the robot is programmed to start an underground survival system. But the robot's only following its own programming. So the fact that there's like trees and shit up above and they can live is irrelevant. It's like, I'm here to maintain an underground survival system. So we are going to stay down here and survive underground.
I have a question for you both.
What's that?
Have you seen Wall-E?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the ship.
Oh my god.
What? No, you can't go back to Earth. I know there's plant life there, but we can't go back. You guys have to stay here and let me take care of you.
There is the ship, you're right.
God.
Oh, spoilers for Wall-E.
I'm not going to put, for the third week, I'm not going to put spoilers in it. It's fine.
Alright, well, sucks to be the audience then.
It's enough of
you
a
haven't seen Wall-E.
vagary.
Oh, well.
It's vague enough to not be a spoiler. It's fine.
So you said
me talking about one of the main plot points of Wall-E is very vague.
All right, I'll put a spoiler warning in. Jesus.
So you mentioned this was a double escape, and that's because as Glitz, Perry, and Dibber are being led to the funeral pyre to burn Glitz alive, Glitz and Dibber overpower their guards, knock them out, and they go to escape. Well, they move to get away, and then
Glitz goes to escape. Dibber is ordered to blow up the light converter.
Yeah. So Glitz and Perry are going to lead the guards away, while Dibber is going to hide with a bomb. And once all the guards are chasing Glitz and Perry, he's going to run back and blow the light converter to shit.
And amazingly, the plan works.
That's a bad idea.
The plan succeeds.
The plan succeeds. Dibber blows the fuck out of that thing.
But now they're
Good
on the
job,
run.
Dibber.
Yeah.
So they're on the run.
So there's a weird scene with a handbrake and turncoat where they're like, the doctor hurt us. He gave us owies. I hope he dies. He hurt me. He hurt me more. No, he hurt me more.
Wait till my father hears about this.
No, he hurt me more. Drathos like, will you two shut the fuck up?
Spoilers, but sadly the two don't die.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, boom goes the light converter. And here we go with this shit. Okay. Let's just go. I'm just getting through the transcript so I can make sure
we've got two groups essentially. We've got the Doctor and Balazar, and we've also got Glitz, Dibber, and Perry, or Glitz and Perry with Dibber running from a little bit behind. Okay,
now I know where I wanted to get at. So the Doctor is running away from the Immortal, and he sees Balazar and Merdine, and he's like, "Oh, whoops, see ya!" And Merdine's like, "Wait, Doctor, no, we're on your side. We want to help you. Take Balazar up to the surface, will you?" And the Doctor's like, "Okay, fine, I'll take Balazar up to the surface. I'm gonna stay here. Come on, Balazar." And we get another interruption. The Val's like, "This is another prime example of the Doctor's interference. He could have got away from here any time, but he chose to stay and meddle.
To help people?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's Time Lords, you know.
I know. They're so far up their own backsides.
Yeah. And the Inquisitor's like, well, we should wait until the end of this before we pass judgment, you know? So we get to our part 2 cliffhanger. The Doctor and Balazar come up on the surface. And he's like, where's Perry? Goddamn dumbass can't stay still.
Have either of you seen the film What's New Pussycat?
What?
With Peter Sellers and Woody Allen and Peter O'Toole?
I saw it 8 times, but then I had to put in a different song, so then I wouldn't.
I was just gonna do that shit. Oh,
well, it's also a very funny comedy film, and this is not a spoiler because it's a comedy film. There's a bit towards the end where all the main characters are running havoc around a hotel, and Peter Sellers is pursuing somebody, and then he's being pursued by his Valkyrie-like wife, and basically the woman is like, I'm being pursued by a maniac. And Woody Allen goes, quick, get in the closet. And then Peter Sellers goes, you must help me. I'm being chased by a terrifying, monstrous woman. Quick, get in the closet.
Oh my god.
It's just this scene. Yeah,
so the Doctor's like, where's Perry? God damn, she couldn't see it. And then Perry's just like, Doctor! and she's running for her fucking life along with Glitz, and they're like, "Oh, come on, go back. Let's go back down underground." So he helps Perry, Glitz, and Dibber get underground.
Dibber just makes it, because Dibber's quite a bit behind.
Yeah.
The
They run
really
down.
behind.
They run down the escalator. But oh shit, it's the L1 robot. Okay, we better go back up. Oh shit, it's the villagers. We're caught between a rock and a hard place. How are we gonna get out of this? To be continued.
And Colin Baker even says, "I really think this could be the end." No, it couldn't. You're watching this on trial.
You. What the fuck are we doing with these cliffhangers?
Nothing. Absolutely
Trying their best.
nothing.
Like, at least with Terror of the Vervoids, the idea is it's a future clip. That would be awkward, wouldn't it? If he's like, okay, I'm going to look at future evidence. So this plant one. Oh, I'm just dead. Oh shit.
That could have been a really interesting way to introduce the Seventh Doctor, but...
You know, I kind of wonder if this was written as an actual episode, and then they sort of inserted the trial bits afterwards.
I mean, there's definitely parts like Terror of the Vervoids where you can definitely see that.
Vervoids, I think, was supposed to be a standalone episode that was repurposed. I don't know about the other two.
I don't know about this one because the whole point of Glitz and Dibber is leading into Ultimate Foe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just feels like that just because of all the cliffhangers where it's like, oh no, the Doctor is about to die. It's like, no, he obviously isn't.
Yeah. Well, the way we get out of this cliffhanger is interesting, is that Balazar actually recognizes one of the villagers as someone called Broken Tooth, and it's like, hey, me! Yeah, help us! And, well, they decide to shoot the robot, and they shoot the robot and deactivate it for a time.
They think it's the Immortal. Balazar tells them it's the Immortal.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, Balazar's never seen the Immortal, so he could make that mistake.
So the Doctor's like, okay, well, glad that's over. Now I've got to go up to the light converter. Oh, you don't have to worry about the light converter. I blew it up. What the f***, you idiot?
You've made things worse.
Well, now I have to shut down the black light system. Or you can come with us, Doctor. Or I can come with you. That also works.
Yeah. So Broken Tooth was also from the underground, and Merdine saved him and brought him to the surface a while back.
Yeah.
He joined the tribe of the Free and became Ketrika's right-hand man.
Okay, this is where I get to go off. But first, I'm going to summarize the trial interruption that happens. And it happens near the beginning here. I guess it's, like I said, I guess it's just to remind the people, oh, hey, this is the structure of the stories this time. If you don't know, the Doctor's on trial, and here's the judge, and here's the prosecution. So the Inquisitor's basically like, Valeyard, is all this necessary? I mean, all this violent bullshit. It's not cool. I find it repugnant, man, but the Doctor has a well-known predilection for violence.
So do you think this is the Parody Television Council parody bit?
Oh, well, I'm going to get to... I don't know if I would go there, but I'm going to go into a sort of rant.
I mean, we
here
didn't have a Parody Television Council, but similar forces like that.
Yeah.
The censorship board, things like that.
And the Doctor's just like, oh, come on, I have a predilection to violence. Okay, maybe there's a few times when there's no alternative, but otherwise. And then the Valeyard just plays that one YouTube video where it's all the times the Doctor's killed somebody, and it's that one rap song, die motherfucker, kill fool.
Yeah. I hope that hasn't been purged because that's a really funny video. But
plus, as we'll find out later, Terror of the Vervoids was a future adventure he was going to go on, correct?
Yeah.
So they could theoretically show the Seventh Doctor blowing up Skaro if that existed at the time.
Colin Baker does get a really good line here when the Inquisitor says, I don't like seeing gratuitous violence. And it says, so do I, Mom, especially when I'm on the receiving end of it.
Yeah. And the Inquisitor's like, well, Valeyard, I'd appreciate it if these brutal scenes are reduced to a minimum. Yes, mate.
The graphic details.
It's not my wish to cause you any unnecessary friend. The accused defenses are such that a certain amount of graphic details unavoidable. So here's where I go into a little. Now, as we've established, this is the comeback from being basically cancelled. Like, it's a sheer miracle that the show came back because of the public outcry, but it was a vote of no confidence that they didn't renew the show for the early winter 1986.
Wait, was this
Right?
basically was that scene basically just a sort of haha, all these people called in saying Doctor Who is too violent, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
sort of thing?
I don't even know if they're going there. I think they're trying to be more like tongue-in-cheek, self-aware about it. Like,
It's the equivalent.
we
It's the equivalent in the 2000s. The WWF was so fed up of being attacked by the Parents Television Council, they created the group to mock the Parents Television Council.
oh god, yeah,
It's like that.
I don't know if they're going mocking. I think it's more just self-aware stuff. Like, hey, look, these people putting the Doctor on trial. They're saying, oh, look, the Doctor's being too overly violent, just like the other critiques that have been raised about the show.
It could be that, but I thought it was like a sort of a, haha, look, laugh at these people thing, but maybe it isn't. But
I don't think they're going there, but I think they're trying to be like self-aware, tongue-in-cheek, break the fourth wall with it. But here's the thing: they're doing that, right? They're saying, and it can be meta commentary. Like, if you're going to do the whole mirroring thing of the show's on trial and the Doctor's on trial, they're obviously bringing up the objections that people have had with it. Oh, the Doctor's being too violent. Or the stuff like, oh, look, you're showing us a bunch of inconsequential bullshit that's just there to pad out space. Which is a valid critique. It's a valid critique that they're raising in-universe as an in-universe trial. But here's the thing. They don't have anything where they go, oh, but this is why the show is good. It's just a bunch of bullshit, and then the ultimate foe happens, and it's a bunch of cobbled-together bullshit because of the clusterfuck, and then the show ends, and they fire Colin Baker.
yeah.
So it doesn't go anywhere.
Poor man didn't get to come back for one final 4-part story to wrap it up.
Well, he got Big Finish.
He did, and they did him a wonderful. I think they did him right by that.
Yeah.
The Brink of Death is a fantastic ending to his arc.
It's it's very good.
We could have got that on television, but we didn't.
I don't think we could have got that on television, but I'm glad that Colin Baker got a good send-off. A better send-off than Ultimate Foe.
Plus, I mean, it's a good thing that he gets this time to really shine, because before he was indeed trapped by the limitations of the Doctor that they presented for him. At very least in Big Finish, I'm sure that they let him grow a lot more.
Oh yeah. This is why everyone says, oh, the real Colin Baker era is Big Finish, because it's better.
Plus, he also gets an actual, regeneration scene in the Brink of Death.
That too, yeah.
And it's beautiful.
But
anyway.
that's a little gripe I had with. I mean, it's obviously trying to mirror Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Obviously trying to mirror the trials and tribulations, pun unintended, that the show has had, but it doesn't offer any defense. It's just, hey, here's the thing. Here's the stuff you critiqued us for. Here it is. And we're worthy of being saved because, hey, look, it's the Master.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Obviously, I haven't seen most of this trial of the Time Lord stuff. And obviously, I'm just in Terror of the Vervoids. Does the Doctor continue to act this way the entire time?
Which way? Basically, yeah.
He almost seems like he's so smug about himself that he doesn't need to put up a defense, and that his work will essentially talk for him.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vervoids is presented as his defense.
Yep.
And it goes spectacularly well.
Hey, so.
Well, not really, but yeah.
Anyway,
I'm being sarcastic, but
it's funny that you mentioned that, because the Inquisitor's basically, now, Doctor, stop objecting. Once the Valeyard presents all of the prosecution's evidence, you'll have the chance to defend yourself and share your side of the story. Terror of the Vervoids happens. His side sharing ends with, so I committed genocide.
I may have committed some light genocide. Whoops.
Right. Anyway, back to the actual story, evidence, or whatever you want to call it, the adventure on Ravelox. Grell is basically on to Merdine. And it's like, he's saying I know without saying I know.
Yeah, he smells a rat.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really go anywhere yet. What does go somewhere is that the Doctor is brought before Katrika.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yay.
Also, the L1 robot is brought back online by the two idiots, and they have this sort of like... I fixed it. I think I fixed it.
No, I did. Will you two shut the fuck up?
Again, they don't die.
They don't.
This was just crying out for permission to scream moment where Draffer just liquidated them both.
So back with Katrika, I guess.
Maybe that's in the special edition that comes out 30 years time after Ian Levine.
Do we mention this on? Do we mention it?
I would just say it in one sentence.
Say it.
Dimensions in Time Special Edition. We don't deserve to live on this planet.
Please. Yeah, Ian Levine releases Dimensions in Time Special Edition. The Time Lords. Yeah, the Time Lords. Right, yeah. Fuck. Oh, God.
Meanwhile, Big Finish are making plans to take that really cool Cyberman story for the 30th anniversary and turn it into something we can actually enjoy.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're trying to convert the original planned script for that Cyberman story that was replaced by Dimensions in Time for the 30th anniversary and turn it into something we can actually watch or we'll listen to.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think this round goes to Big Finish, don't you?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Ian Levine releases fucking Dimensions in Time Special Edition, and this is what causes the fireball that turns Earth into Revalox.
Oh?
Whoops.
Because it's like, we don't deserve to live on this planet anymore.
Burn it all down.
Yeah. Speaking of the files.
Well, let's be fair. This entire timeline went wrong as soon as Cats the movie was announced. So,
I mean, I've already wanted to apply bleach to my eyeballs once time this week because of that footage of Matt Hancock snogging someone. Ugh.
I don't know what that is. I don't want to know.
Politician.
Okay.
Caught on CCTV in flagrante delicto with a colleague, and it got very graphic.
Oh, okay.
Put it this way:
Okay.
if I was the Inquisitor, I would be asking that to not be shown at the trial, because Jesus.
So
would very graphic mean that they showed an ankle?
No, I don't want to say it because just thinking about it makes me want to throw up. But
did they show his cock?
No, they were just kissing in full clothing. But
No. You see, Frez, he's English, so anything more than an ankle makes him automatically want to throw up.
It was toe curling, okay? It was nauseating. I'm going to spare you the footage because it's horrible.
And he just kissed a woman.
Notice how he says that they were just kissing and they were fully clothed. So, proving me right?
He wasn't just Oh, forget it. I'll tell you when the podcast is over, but...
Now, what was I going to say before we got into this?
It's okay. They were just listening to that guy from Dalek and then went to go canoodle.
Right. So, back to Mysterious Planet. This bullshit. So, the Doctor talks to Katrika and, tries to convince her that, hey, I gotta go back down underground and fix the black light system. No, you don't. You get to go into my jail cell. So they're all locked up, and while they're doing that, the L1 has gone outside, and they're like, oh, and handbag and turncoat, whatever. They're like, oh, wow, there's vegetation outside. Vegetation is unnecessary. The Doctor is required, or whatever the fuck the Doctor wants to be.
Well, they want to kill him because he hurt them, Diddums, but he's like, no, he must be returned to us unharmed. I need him still.
Mummy, the bad man hurt me.
Very good.
So, Glitz explains while they're all locked up in the same place again, and I'm honestly surprised if they're going for the meta thing that they didn't criticize this in the trial scene. Like, the Inquisitor's saying, Valeyard, this is totally irrelevant. These characters all escaped their prison, only to find themselves recaptured again moments later. What is the purpose of this evidence? The purpose will become clear, my in due time.
There are scenes that were left out in the trial, which was probably exactly this. There were probably even more cutaways to the damn trial room.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I haven't gone through the deleted scenes on the DVD.
And anyway, fun bit here. So, Valeyard is permitted to stay with the tribe. The rest are being returned to their cell.
Before we continue on, I have to say this. So the whole reason that the Valeyard is giving all these, extra bits that technically would not be needed is because if you look really closely in some of these scenes, Pepe Sylvia's in the background.
Fair. Moving on.
So Glitz explains while they're locked up, he's here to collect some files, and his planet is in the constellation of Andromeda. And then he mentions the planet, the name of the planet they're on. Why, Earth, of course.
It was Earth all along.
Dun, dun.
And there's supposedly this last expedition to Earth that missed the planet because it shifted in time and space, thanks to mysterious bullshit, making this a mysterious planet, if you will. And, well, before we can get more, I'm afraid we've done it again.
Oh, yeah!
Because at that moment, the L1 robot Kool-Aid mans its way through the wall to capture the Doctor.
I love this. I love this so much.
How is there so many fucking Doctor Who episodes where someone smashes their way through a fucking wall?
I don't know.
Because they have a lot of foam and they need to use it.
I do love that as the Doctor is being attacked by this robot, like he tries to introduce himself to it.
Hello, I'm the Doctor.
He tries to shake its hand. It doesn't have a hand. Big mistake. He sort of like puts his finger in a port. He gets electrocuted and knocked out.
Yeah.
The robot then
robot's
goes
like,
out.
give me a hug.
There's a very funny bit where Glitz pushes Dibber in front of him and says, stay there, lad, where I can keep an eye on you. He's hiding behind the human shield, but Dibber doesn't realise this.
So, yeah, the robot binds the Doctor up in, like, cables or whatever, and drives off with it, because it's just a little pyramid on a fucking tank treads.
Yeah, but who's that here to save the day? Why, it's the tribe?
Yeah, they're like, holy shit, the Immortal just walked through the wall and took the Doctor away. Get the guns, let's get him.
They shoot the L1 and destroy it.
Well, before that, we get because Drathor is watching the direct feed, and he's like, wait a fucking minute. That's civilization. Those are dwellings. These are people. What the fuck is going on here? My people from the underground are up on the surface. What is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Who's been fucking with my underground lair?
So he realizes he has a traitor now. That's been sending people up to the surface.
Oh hey, would you look at that? I'm looking at the transcript, and as I say this, we cut back to the trial room, and guess what the Doctor just says? All this is irrelevant and hypothetical.
He's not wrong.
What possible value does the farmyard here think there is in listening to some half-incapacitated robot and a couple of diminutive nitwits who might as well be robots? Oh my god, they do it!
Yeah, they
do the whole, this is irrelevant bullshit.
They do.
Why are you...
So they're putting out their own episode and then saying that they're putting out their own episode.
The Valeyard is a big Doctor Who fan, and he just wants to be able to watch an episode while he's working. But this was the only way he could find to do it.
Clearly, the Valeyard is Ian Levine.
Oh my god.
I mean, they're both just as evil, so...
Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of bullshit about, oh, well, this is all relevant. You go to the grander point at hand about your interfering ways, blah, blah, blah. But, it is, like I said, it's, look at me, I'm being self-aware. I'm doing some bullshit that pads out the episode. Look at me, I know I'm doing it, but I'm still doing it. I don't have anything else clever to say.
So let's shotgun through this a little bit. So, Katrika is like, that's the Immortal, it's dead, we will now storm the castle and take all his materials. She says his, I apologise for misgendering, but take all its materials.
Yeah.
While that's going on, Perry is trying to sort of rescue the Doctor, and she's like, to Glitz and Dibber, go on, give me your hand. Like, we can't, he's dead. So they just hang back and don't do anything to help. And the Doctor wakes up, calls Perry Sarah Jane.
This is weird. It's like Colin Baker is doing a John Pertwee impression.
Yeah.
My head hurts a bum to be Sarah Jane.
It's kind of like when the 12th Doctor was starting to regenerate and ultimately tried to suppress it, and he started going through things that his previous incarnation said.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, I suppose, that he was on the brink of death. Yeah, funny, because that's the name of the Big Finish story that he regenerates in. But his mind's sort of like recovering, so he goes through past things he said. I don't get it, but yeah, Sarah Jane, and there's another reference to a past story later on as well, which is even more weird.
Really?
Because it's completely out of context of the character that usually says the line. But anyway, he recovers. He wants to stop Katrika from storming the castle because big explosion coming, could wipe out half the universe. Glitz wants to kill the primitives because he wants revenge.
And the Doctor wants to shut that black light bullshit.
Yeah, so we have different motives here. Broken Tooth and Belazar take Katrika back to Marb Station, back to the underground. We have this really silly, inconsequential scene where it's like, the way forward is this way. No, it's this way. And in the end, Katrika's like, I will always go forward. So she just goes forward anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so there's some bullshit we have to talk about before we end part 3 here. So,
yay, bullshit.
The Doctor mentions a line that would really have fucking helped in the Twin Dilemma. I can't let people die if there's a chance of saving them.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
This from the same man who said, oh, why are you showing me compassion? I was an asshole. Fuck. Then we get the season arc teasing scene with Glitz and Dibber, who are taking their heavy guns down to the underground to try and get the stuff they're looking for, the treasure or whatever you have it.
We also get a wonderful exchange between the two rogues about philately and philanthropy.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Oh, I love this line so much.
Yeah.
So the joke is that philanthropy is like, when rich people give away their money for the good of humanity, for a good cause, and philately is stamp collecting. And Dibber gets it confused.
Glitz says a line that's like, philanthropy is people who have assets, giving them out of the goodness of their hearts. And, shoot, I forgot his name already.
Dibber.
Dibber's just like, oh, so they're idiots, like you are.
Yeah. I love this too as a double act, but then you're right, because after that lovely exchange, they're walking further down into Marb Station, carrying the guns. And then the Doctor encounters his worst enemy, the censorship board.
No, really?
I thought it was going to be a continuity error.
We're not fucking around here because they're like, we can't let them know that we're after the stuff.
Yeah.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
There is some sort of error on the evidence.
And the Valeyard's like, actually, the rest of that evidence has been excised. And Inquisitor's just like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to judge the case if you're censoring the evidence?
Yeah, and she even says it's not fair to the defendant. So there are signs that the Inquisitor is prepared to be fair to a point to the Doctor.
Yeah. She's not a corrupt judge.
She isn't really. She's not really part of this kangaroo court that's been set up.
She's giving the Doctor a fair shake.
It's her job, but she's not like. I mean, it's funny because I've listened to the Gallifrey stories, but she's not corrupt.
But the censoring of this piece of evidence was done by order of the High Council of Gallifrey. So why would the High Council of Gallifrey want to censor some bullshit, a bunch of Han Solo knockoffs?
Well, I wonder what that might be hiding.
I know why.
You know why?
I know why. Well, I guess why.
Oh. Do I want to guess on the show?
My guess is that because they only admitted a single word, and then they go on to say how someone managed to pull out a whole bunch of data from it, including scientific figures, huge advancements like space travel technology, stuff like that. My guess is that he was blocking out the fact that somebody stole some stuff from the Matrix and put it out there, which I think will also tie into the whole Trial of a Time Lord thing.
See, I see.
Like I said, I've never seen the rest of the trial stuff, and I haven't even seen the clips from Terror Vervoids that I've missed. But it's kind of obvious that he says Matrix because
Well,
of just how
you've got them all there on the shelf. So the part 3 cliffhanger is another. Oh no, the doctor's life is in danger. You know, it's in any other situation where it's like we don't know the doctor's fine. This would actually be a really well shot cliffhanger. Because the Doctor and Perry are down underground, they're trying to find a Drathro and thing. And then Murdine shows up with like a crossbow gun. And he's like, "Oh, Murdine, what have you been up to? Hunting. What have you been hunting? You." And then you see him shoot the crossbow. And it looks like he's aiming at the Doctor and Perry. So it's like, oh shit!
Oh no, the Doctor is dead.
It's
Whatever
obvious
shall we
where
do?
I hadn't seen this story prior to watching it for this, but I knew full well what had happened.
Yeah, but
it was obvious that he'd actually shot Grell.
Yeah, it's shot well enough that you're like, oh shit, he actually pulled the trigger and
They
fired.
do this fake out cliffhanger a number of times in the 70s. I'm not going to say the story because we haven't covered it yet, but there's a really good one. You know the one I'm talking about. In the John Pertwee years.
Is that the one you were talking about?
In the John Pertwee years, yes.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
That's one of them. Yeah, the other one is Speaking of things being censored.
Oh, that happens. That happens.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because a certain character that we think to be evil takes aim.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so that's done rather well.
We're in part 4. We're in part 4 now. Murdine shoots Grell, and he's like, "Oh no, damn! What a shame. I'd hope one day he would see that this is all a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter. But now I had to kill him. What a tragedy."
Yeah, he actually is remorseful of it. This is rather refreshing.
Oh yeah. He's pretty well. I say it like I say it in the monotone, but he actually gives a shit.
He does, because he says, "I recommend him to work as a guard here," and so he really feels remorseful for what he's done. It's interesting. You don't see a lot of this in science fiction, and certainly on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Usually, if characters die, it's just because it's there for the good of the plot, or it's incidental. But here, it's like, oh no, what have I done?
It's what have I done? I've duggened him.
I don't think shooting someone with a crossbow was duggening someone, but
become a thief in the night, become a dog on the run.
Anyway, the twins want to get the fuck out of here. So.
Oh god!
God. And this is some bullshit that happens. Yeah. So once they get the doors open, Katrika and friends, the twins basically get the fuck.
Again, this was crying out for Drathro to just grab them by the necks and kill them both.
Speaking of grabbing by the neck and killing them both,
yeah, this happens.
So everyone's just like, Katrika, the Immortal is dead. We have nothing to fear. What the fuck are you idiots doing in here? Oh shit! It's the fucking Immortal.
Yeah, and
they tried to get the guns
up to it. Big mistake.
Yeah. So Drathro just grabs her by the neck and electrocutes her. Broken Tooth tries to pull Drathro's arm off. He gets electrocuted too. And I gotta say, the makeup job. This is really gnarly.
It is. Once the electric effect has faded, they're just like burnt and charred faces. Ugh.
Burned and charred and bloody faces. It's
God. I didn't like Katrika, but that's a horrible way to go.
You want to talk about unnecessary violence? That effect was a little more gnarly than you needed for that.
That was a bit too much. Yes. Anyway,
like if you wanted to electrocute him, you could just have him fall down and be electrocuted dead like that.
He's
you didn't have to go through all that shit.
No, they were saving that for Warriors of the Deep.
Warriors of the Deep.
Nah, he like literally cooked their faces.
He did.
Yeah.
It's nasty. And I think also like Broken Tooth's clothes are charred and smoking. It's nasty.
Yeah.
And then also nasty is a very stupid insult by the Doctor in the trial room, which even Colin Baker didn't like.
Oh, what's that?
The knackers yard.
Oh Christ! Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, it's just flippant, childish bullshit. These yard names. And Colin Baker didn't like him, and, he's right not to.
Yeah.
You get it, but also at the same time, it really doesn't help that the smuggest doctor arguably is saying it. So doesn't help.
Well, it could be worse. He could be having tonsil hockey with a politician.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
And I have to put all that in, or else that joke won't make
sense. And necking, not the other thing I said, which...
So we have another trial scene because it's the beginning of part 4, and we have to remind anyone who hasn't seen that the doctor's on trial. And this is more immature bullshit. It's just like they're shouting, "You're immature. I'm not immature. You're immature." Blah 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 blah. But big old insult time, and the Inquisitor's like, "Doctor, you behave yourself right the fuck down this instant."
Yeah.
And the Valeyard does say so. So the doctor's like, "I was on Ravelot's trying to avert a catastrophe. The deaths of several hundred innocent people. Surely not even in the eyes of the Time Lords is that deemed immature or a crime. The crime was in being there, Doctor. Your presence initiated the whole chain of events that we've witnessed."
And this is a scene that doesn't make it into the final edit of the episode, which would make it much more sense about this testimony. I'll get to that at the end.
So at this point, this is where we see the scene that Kat was talking about, where we got the bullshit about the censoring, where Glitz is like, "Well, the sleepers found the biggest information net in the blue."
Yeah. And even the Inquisitor's getting tired of this now.
It's like, can you not fucking censor half the trial?
You and me both, lady. It's getting really tiresome.
Yeah. I mean, we already know the gimmick that they go with instead of censoring for the later stories, the middle stories, which is not
a point to
it,
but it's still tiresome.
Yeah. It's not censoring, it's unreliable information that the doctor's like, "Wait, that didn't happen, that's bullshit."
Yeah. But Glitz and Dibber, they're after what they call secrets that Drafro holds from 500 years ago, so of course they can sell them to the highest bidder on the black market.
Uh-huh.
That's their thing.
So the doctor shows up in Drathro's lair and it's like, "Oh, I've got to shut down the black light system." But Drathro's like, you can't shut it down. If you shut it down, you shut me down. And we can't have that. Because
there's also a strange bit where Drathro is ordered to cull the surviving attackers from the Tribe of the Free and Balazar, and they just stand around waiting to be executed.
Yep.
They don't run away like the two idiots did.
So they've got more sense. But yeah, the doctor's trying to explain empathy to a robot who can't get past its programming. And it's like, well, so the robot, so it's basically the philosophy is just some sort of nihilism. Well, either way, I'm going to be shut down. So fuck all y'all. Either I get shut down or we all blow up, and I'm not willing to be shut down. So fuck all y'all. We're gonna be blown up. That's basically Drathro's logical process.
If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
Yep. Drathro don't fucking care. And the doctor explains more technobabble bullshit that we don't know how far a blacklight explosion could spread. There's been theories that it could spread and destroy this entire galaxy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Drathro, there's even some suggestion that it could create instabilities in the space-time continuum and destroy the entire universe. I don't give a shit.
Your point being?
Yeah. Harry and Co, meanwhile, are trying to find the doctor, but the doors are locked. But then they decide, oh hey, we could always try to go inside the food chute, where Drathro sends the food for all the people down in the station.
Yeah, and nothing comes of this, but what does come of it is that our two favourite rows turn up again.
Yeah.
And this is the line. This is the line I was talking about.
Oh, what's that?
Did you catch it?
No, go ahead.
They're going to blast open the doors. 5 rounds rapid should do the trick.
Okay. I got you.
In a story that's not connected to Unit, the Brigadier, or the monsters from that story, they reference that line from that story. Why?
That's a cute line. I get it.
Yeah, but if the Sarah Jane thing was out of left field, this is further out of left field.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Daemons.
It's a Brigadier. Yeah, that's... Oh, God. The Daemons. That would be a fucked up
It became a sort of trope with the Brigadier that he would order his men to fire 5 rounds rapid.
The Damons is also our third Atlantis story, but in name only because they just sort of name drop it rather than going to Atlantis.
Yeah, it doesn't appear at all. But
it's a completely contradictory account to the later Time Monster and the earlier the younger.
Doctor Who plots contradicting each other never happens. Never.
Never happened. Never. Anyway, we get a little peril in this food shoot thing, where Drathro sees him on the TV and on his monitor, and he's like, "Ah, intruders! That was your plan. You were stalling me, Doctor. Well, I'm gonna kill him." And he turns on lasers and the fans in there, and everyone's trapped. So Dibber blows a hole in the wall, and this somehow leads to like the one slapstick moment of the story, where Balazar's looking into the chute to try and see what's happening, and a bunch of green pudding or something splashes on his
Release
face.
the guns and get your own back.
What is this? Are we watching Doctor Who or fucking you can't do that on television?
It's Get Your Own Back is what it is.
Get Your Own Back.
Get Your Own Back was a British children's game show where kids would go on with either parents or teachers or just adults that had caused them a bit of a hard time, and the winning team would dunk the adult in a vat of gunge.
Oh, okay, green slime. So it is like you can't do that. We had a show like that in Canada. It wasn't like do it to parents. It was like a kids game show.
Yeah.
And if you lost, you had green shit dumped on you.
They kind of
that's actually the birth of the Nickelodeon Slime, was that TV show.
Yeah, you can't.
Kind of.
I'm thinking of a different show. I'm thinking of a different show from the '90s, but the show you're thinking of, Kat, is you can't do that on television.
Yeah, that's why I said that show pretty much is the birth of the Nickelodeon Slime.
Also, I'd just like to point out that the traps are a spinning rotor blade and some lasers from the ceiling. This is just Resident Evil the movie.
Okay, listen, that Resident Evil laser scene fucking slaps.
Kat's seen it. Kat knows what I'm talking about. She knows I'm telling the truth.
That scene fucking slaps.
As poor,
it kind of does.
As poor Colin, oh, the hell's his name? The hell's the actor's name? Colin Salmon gets sliced in pieces.
That's the greatest moment where it's like they're dodging these lasers up, down, up, down. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna dodge it, and the lasers just turn into an unavoidable grid. And he's like,
shit.
Yeah.
It's like the effect of him falling to pieces isn't that great because early 2000s and so forth.
I don't know if the movie holds up, but just look up that scene on YouTube.
It doesn't.
The first movie is actually all right. The first movie is actually all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's like I wish that we had an actual like Resident Evil person rather than Alice.
It's bad in that it gave rise to the Resident Evil movie franchise.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul W.S. Anderson. So, back in Doctor Who, Dibber has somehow blown a hole in the wall between the food chute and Drathro's lair. They all come in, and then Glitz and Dibber turn on everybody.
I love how Dibber just runs straight into the robot. He shoots the hole in the wall. He runs out and says, "We're gonna go." And it just runs straight into Drathro.
Yeah. I should mention that while Drathro is trying to kill everybody in the chute with lasers, the Doctor's trying to stop him, trying to pull his hand away from the controls, and Drathro just flings him across the room twice.
Yeah. He might be dying, but there's some strength in his robot left.
So yeah, Drathro don't
he
give
is
a
a
shit.
robot.
But so Glitz and Dibber show up, and they basically turn on everything. They're like, "Oh, you want blacklight, Drathro?"
Well, they kind of do, and they kind of don't, actually.
Yeah, they kind of do. It looks like they do. They kind of do, and they kind of do. But here's their scheme. They basically have guns and everything. They're like, blacklight, Drathro. Oh, we've got a shitload of blacklight on our shit, don't we, Dibber? What? Oh yeah, we've got so much blacklight that we can't even see half the time. So why don't you come with us? Oh, and bring your secrets, of course.
We've got so much blacklight. We have this rad poster on our wall that lights up when you put it in.
Yeah. Oh God. So, yeah. And the Doctor at first thinks, once Drathro goes to get the secret, he's like, "Oh, great bluff, Glitz and Dibber," and they pull the guns out. No bluff, Doctor. Now stay back.
Yeah, Drathro actually tells them to tie the others up.
And this is where you're getting they kind of betray him and they kind of don't.
They don't betray them. They don't betray them at all. But
well, they play it. But yeah, Glitz ties up the Doctor. But as he does, he says, "Slipknot, Doctor. Best I can do for you."
All he needed to do was wink at that point.
Yeah. So Drathro gets his secrets, which it's just a little attaché case thing, and Glitz, Dibber, and Drathro leave. And once they're gone, the Doctor immediately breaks free of his ropes because Glitz tied them for shit.
Deliberately, he was deliberately let him escape.
Yeah. He's like, well, it's sort of an empathy. It's like, well, I'll let you get away and stop the explosion. I'm gonna get the secrets, so I don't give.
Well, it's not empathy because they get the secrets and they get what they're after. They get the homicidal robot away from the controls that could blow up half the universe and stop them getting the secrets. It's beneficial to all of them.
Yeah, it's a good deal. So, unfortunately, it's not going to work well for them because, well, the Doctor, Merdine, and Perry are all like working at the controls feverishly. Perry, hit all those lit up buttons. Merdine, hit these buttons. Pull these switches. Press all these buttons.
Now get the hell out of here.
Now get the hell out of here, Merdine, take her. And the Doctor has to pull these levers that have been moved in ages, and he's like, I'm pulling them. And he pulls all the levers, and he runs out of the room, and it explodes. And unfortunately for Glitz and Dibber, this is tied to Drathro, so as they're about to head outside, Drathro fucking melts.
He goes nuclear, yeah.
He just starts glowing dark red, he falls over smoldering, and the secrets just fucking melt with him.
Yeah, they burn in the last death throes of
Womp
womp.
of Drathro. But
it's not all bad for the two of them because look, a solid chunk of some exotic metal that they can sell for a fortune.
Yeah, the most valuable ore in the universe, and there's a whole bunch of it in this tunnel. Dibber, my boy, we're gonna be rich.
We get our denouement, the Doctor and Balzar and Merdine and Perry. It's like, oh, everyone's safe. Oh, it's a new dawn for planet Ravalox. And, there's a fun bit with the Doctor and Perry. Let's go to the TARDIS. Doctor, the TARDIS is that way. I know. I said that way. Yeah, this way. But, of course, we still don't know. Who moved planet Earth from its original time and space 2 million years in the future? And what were those secrets that Glitz was after? Well, we don't know, but that's the end of Exhibit A, and the Doctor is just like, well, look at that. I saved the entire universe. How about that? And the Valeyard just goes, smugness does not become you, Doctor. People died, you idiot.
And then he takes a cup of coffee and throws it at him.
That's another Phoenix Wright joke, Rainiac.
I know. I know who... Well, I don't know exactly who Godot is. Or Godot, or how it's pronounced, but I know he's in Phoenix Wright.
I assume Godot liked to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the end of the episode, just reminding you, hey, you're still on trial, fucko. I've still got Exhibit B. Well, and the does well, I hope your evidence gets better. Oh, you're totally fucked when we show Exhibit B. Dun, dun,
yeah, that's the cliffhanger leading into the second part of the trial, which is mine, which we're not going to cover just yet. What was I going to say?
Finally, a decent cliffhanger.
I mean, yeah, kinda.
And that was the Mysterious Planet.
Well, it's better than the previous ones in this serial.
Okay, so that was Mysterious Planet. I would like to go last.
Okay. Okay.
Because I'm not going to be very complimentary about this, and I feel you might be better with it. So.
Yeah. You want to take it, Kat?
Sure. I chose it. I'll go first. I mean, I really enjoyed this. It had some parts that, like the whole planet thing where it's just like that comes into play later, and that's not something I'm entirely okay with, just because, nobody knew it was going to come later, essentially. So the fact that they didn't address this in the situation at hand, especially since they called the entire thing the Mysterious Planet, it's like, okay, alright. But, I still had fun with it. Glitz and Dibber are hilarious. All the love to Colin Baker. I love you. I spent $75 for you to troll my friends, so... obviously I'm a big fan.
Troll my friends. Like Rainiac got trolled by it.
But Perry was also good. I still have my issues with Perry and the Doctor's relationship, just because now that we've watched Twin Dilemma and actually went into it with a critical eye, It's a lot. It's very different for me now because every single time I see them together, it definitely has that abusive relationship feel to it still, and I'm not entirely okay with that. Especially since he essentially, calls her an idiot and all that stuff this entire time. Um, so I do have my problems with this episode, but I also have things that I like about it. So I would say I'm pretty middle of the road. It was okay. Maybe I would watch it again if I wanted to, but I'd probably try to find the same thing as Terror of the Vervoids and just cut out all the trial stuff.
So this story is fine. It's an adequate Colin Baker era Doctor Who story. There are worse, but there are better. You've got the trial framing thing, which I don't know if it really worked for a thing. It might have been better to just do standalone adventures, but they went with the trial thing. And really all it amounts to is A, a bunch of mysteries that aren't paid off until the ultimate foe, and B, interrupting the story every 10 minutes to make a sort of meta break the fourth wall critique that doesn't really go anywhere. Either way, while you're watching The Mysterious Planet, it doesn't really go anywhere. So
yeah.
That being said, the story itself is adequate. You've got Glitz and Dibber are great characters. You've got some decent stuff going on here. Annoying characters. Some good stuff here. It's watchable. It's a perfectly watchable Colin Baker story. A decent introduction. Just a shame that this was Robert Holmes' last full Doctor Who script, and that he, died in the middle of the Ultimate Foe.
Yeah.
But we will get to that when we get to the Ultimate Foe, because that we could probably take half a podcast on the behind-the-scenes fuck-up of the Ultimate Foe.
I do have one question before we get to that, whenever we do. For the Ultimate Foe, did they still use his script and then just fill out the rest of it, or did they scrap it entirely?
Elements were kept.
I think they used part. They used a certain, maybe the first 10 minutes.
They used elements of his script, but they definitely adapted a lot of it as well.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. There's ideas. It's like you got to use this and this and this, but otherwise, it's like the people who wrote it.
I've read a summary of what would have been the original Holmes script, and it's got some interesting stuff in there that sadly does not get ported over to the final version.
Yeah. So it's something. There's elements, but it's very much the writer's own thing and the own take on trying to resolve the trial. So that's Mysterious Planet. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Rainiac, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't think it's fine. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There are parts of this that I like. I think Dibber and Glitz are two great characters. I like the fact that Colin Baker is trying to be a bit nicer to Perry. He doesn't quite manage it all the time in this. But the real problem, other than those two idiots at the castle, who, by the way, the bit I forgot to mention is that the bit that's missing is that the Valeyard says that without the Doctor's interference, they would have stabilised the Blacklight explosion and nobody would have died.
Really?
Kind of feels like that should have been in the episode, because that's like a real major part of his testimony.
Been in the fucking episode.
Yeah.
That should have definitely been in the episode, but yeah.
Also, how would he even know that?
Well, Ultimate Foe would explain that as well, but yeah, the trial just doesn't work. I mean, it's a clip show of episodes we haven't seen yet, which is unique, but unique does not always mean good, and it doesn't in this case. There's far too many cutaways to the trial room, and it breaks up the flow of the story, and the story itself doesn't feel like it's got enough meat on its bones to justify being a full adventure. Like, it kind of has to have the trial stuff in it, but the trial stuff is what makes it weak. It's a catch-22.
Whoops.
Also, Joan Sim, I love her as an actress. She doesn't work as Katrika very well. Yeah, again, I'm just sorry this is Robert Holmes' last script, because it didn't deserve to be.
No. One would have wanted him to go on for, well, yeah. I mean, he was only, I think he was only about 60 years old when he passed away, so.
Born in the 20s, I think, so yeah.
Yeah, and he died in the
Who?
80s. Robert
Robert
Holmes.
Holmes, the writer.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be too critical because, again, was ill and dying
Yeah.
when he wrote this.
Yeah.
That's probably why it feels like a greatest
We'll
hits.
give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was dying.
That's probably why it feels like a poorly written greatest hits.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Stephen King had that period where he was like super high on drugs from being hit by a car and he wrote some stuff. It's like you kind of can make fun of it, but also it's just like the guy was not in a good place at the time. You kind of got to
on
give him a
drugs
little
to being
bit
hit
of
by a car. That's kind of your hint there.
To be fair, in the 80s when he did his most popular stuff, he was also high as fuck on drugs. Only they weren't medicinal. It was like, he was an alcoholic snorting a bunch of cocaine. And that's how you get shit like, and then a giant monster clown says we all float down here.
But we also...
And then these, like, really young kids have an orgy. Seriously, that happens in the It book.
We also kind of did the story a disservice by watching Terror of the Vervoids first.
Problem.
Because that's both superior in every respect and also works as a standalone episode.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
Yeah.
But I would definitely like to cover... I will say, please, let's do the trial in order. Like, whenever we get back to Colin Baker and the trial next, I mean, I'm fine with that being a couple months from now, just because we don't want to blow through our Colin Baker backlog instantly.
Yeah, let's do Mind Warp before Ultimate Foe.
We got to do Mind Warp before Ultimate Foe, because,
Because Ultimate Foe puts the bow on everything, so yeah.
Yeah. I would also say that in between that time, maybe rewatch Terror of the Vervoids again, but with the trial stuff, and then do Ultimate Foe after that.
Just watch it, but not do a
We're going to
podcast on
cover
it.
it again.
We've already done the podcast once. We don't need to do it again.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm not saying do the podcast again. I'm saying just watch it again. So
I'm probably going to watch the rest of the... Now I've watched Mysterious Planet, I'm probably going to watch the rest of the trial in order just to see if it changes anything for me.
Yeah.
But I'll do that in my own time.
Yeah.
And please feel free to comment to us on your own time about that.
Yeah.
Well, me.
Yeah. Anyway, we know I think that Mind Warp's not coming up next week, but Freezing Inferno has the board.
Yeah, and you know what I've got to do, because there's one thing we haven't mentioned yet. It happened, I want to say, it happened a couple days after we recorded our last episode, which
on the day it was uploaded, it sadly emerged that Jackie Lane had passed away, yes.
Are we going to do the arc?
No, not going to.
No.
Aren't you fucking glad that you didn't pick the arc and then the day it went up?
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a...
Holy fuck!
I would have had to record an audible there and say, we're not doing that, we're doing something else, like post-production, but...
we dodged a fucking bullet.
I think I know what you're going to pick, but please make it official.
I would like, before we do that, to briefly talk about Jackie Lane on Doctor Who, because she is a companion who had a rough sort of start of she's only there for a couple stories, and then her final story, she's basically poochied out of the show.
No, he's right.
Like, now, let me go through a brief history, minus the story I'm picking next time, of Jackie Lane as a companion, Dorothea Dodo Chaplin. She shows up in the TARDIS randomly at the end of a story called The Massacre, which, as you can tell from the title, is cheerful. And it's like, there's an accident. I went to this police box for help, but oh, wow, it's bigger on the inside. Oh, you travel in time and space? And the Doctor basically adopts her as new Susan.
Yeah.
And they go off. And then her first adventure is the Ark. And the Ark is racist and bad, and I would not like to talk about the Ark. So, luckily, following that, we have, the Celestial Toymaker, which is racist and bad and missing. So, we don't have to talk about it. Then we get another story that we're going to do. Then we get a story called The Savages, which is, it's interesting in that it's aligned the way I like it. It's, stopping people from exploiting a lower class, but also it's a little problematic, so I don't really know where to fall on that. It's also all missing, so we don't have to cover it. And then we have a story called The War Machines, which does exist, but this is Dodo's last story, because halfway into it, she gets hypnotized by robots and sent away to be dehypnotized. And at the end of the story, she leaves a note for the Doctor that says, I decided to stay in London. Please have fun going off in time and space. Because they literally poochied Jackie Lane.
So you did pick the one I thought you were going to pick. Good.
So, the story I've picked is the one remaining story I haven't talked about, which is a very fun little story that A, showcases the great potential of Jackie Lane as a companion, and B, we get to complain about fandom bullshit with this one, because it's one that the old fuckers fucking hate. Next time on Doctor Who Reviews, William Hartnell and Jackie Lane in The Gunfighters.
And I'll just say that had you not picked this would have been my pick for next time I was up. For the exact same reason, to pay tribute to Jackie Lane.
Yeehaw, motherfuckers! We're going back to the Wild West.
To pay tribute to Jackie Lane, and I'm not glad because somebody else's loved one passed away in his place, but it's not a double eulogy with Tony Selby.
Yeah. Like imagine the roller coaster we here at Doctor Who Reviews were on, where we were like, oh, Jackie Lane died. Oh, Jesus, Jackie Lane died. That's sad. I'm glad we didn't do the arc because that would have been fucked up. Good thing we're doing the Mysterious Planet. Tony Selby died?
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
I was this close to cancelling this week's story and getting you to pick another one.
I'm almost 100% sure that this podcast is cursed now. Because seriously.
But luckily, Tony Selby did not die. But, well, we get to cover The Gunfighters next time. And I'm sure it's going to be a fun time, and no one's going to complain to me about getting a song stuck in there.
No, and also I won't have to it won't be like a bad time for me because I won't have to praise Orphan 55 and the Twin Dilemma in the same episode. Just give me 1 second, please. Ah! Yeah. Because I had to praise all 55 and Twin Dilemma in the same goddamn podcast.
Next time on Doctor Who Reviews, it's The Gunfighters. Rainiac, where can you find us, lovely people?
You can find... I'm so glad I broke you towards the end. Revenge is mine. You can find us on Twitter at ReviewsDoctor. You can find me on Twitter, if you'd want to, at Rainiac the Maniac, Cats at Conclave Usurper, and Jerry's at Freezing Inferno. You can also write us a nice email, or if you prefer a not so nice email, at goexterminateyourself@gmail.com. Thank you to Kat and Jerry for talking with me about the Mysterious Planet and Traveller Time Lord bullshit. Thank you to you, the audience, for listening to us talking about Traveller Time Lord bullshit. And join us this time for hopefully a nice tribute to Jackie Lane as we review The Gunfighters.
Till then, bye back to the 11th Hour by Kristen McTeer.
Yes.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yes.
We got it in.
And until then, bye for now. Football's coming home.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I don't blame you.
She actually disconnected from the call. Leave that in. Good night, everybody. Is that all?
Is that it?
He was
That
deep
might as
throating
well.
her. He was deep throating her.
Now, when you say that,
Okay, Rain, Brett, I'm sorry, that's not what deep throating means.
yeah,
That's not what it
It's not.
you keep
No.
using that word. I do not think it means what you think.
Have I done a dumb? I've done a dumb, haven't I? Yeah.
Deep throating is when a woman takes a dick into her mouth all the way.
No, it wasn't that.
That's a bit different, honey.
That's a little bit different.
Oh, I'm thinking of necking, not... Oh, for Jesus Christ.
Blooper reel.
We're cutting all this. Bollocks.
Today on Sex Education with Kat, we have our special guest Brett, who knows absolutely fucking nothing.
Oh, I'm so glad this is making the edit. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, blooper reel.
What do you mean, high blooper? It's not making the edit. That's still the edit.
Okay, let's
2
open
World
that
Wars and 1 World Cup. England. Not original. I
Oh
can't
God,
claim
now
that.
we're never gonna get him to shut up.
No, it's fine because we're losing the next round. We will not learn the lessons and we'll lose in the next round. But
the only thing that would make it better is if Murray Gold composed a song about England winning this one. So then he could wax poetic about that.
It's a beautiful day for Rainiac. England won the football. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. I don't have any mirror alerts for this episode. Release the butthole cut of cats.
or don't and save us having to apply bleach to our eyeballs.
Yeah,
How
like
cats. We take cats and we edit out all the bad parts, which is 95% of the movie.
Right.
And then we edit out all the good parts as well, so there's no movie whatsoever.
That's the cats I can handle.
And then we edit back in the Matt Hancock CCTV footage.
For fuck's sake!
I believe for real.
And now I have to include it, you son of a bitch.
That's okay if you didn't. I'm also recording just in case.
I've been played. I can respect the hustle. I've been played.
It's going to get out there somehow.